Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today is ChatGPT Thursday. ChatGPT Thursday. And for today's thought, I am going to use the prompt of create 3 ideas to use Vellum to make a junk journal item. I found I was going to do fabric because of that my tab video that I just had up 2 days ago, I think. Because I had ran into all those fabrics, but this is the other thing I ran into when I was cleaning stuff up is these 12 by 12 sheets of vellum. So they are, I wish there was a date. I was looking on here. All this is made in the US, but there is no date. So they are nice size vellum, but they are easy to obviously cut down into smaller pieces to use for something. But yeah, I think there's probably close to the whole 20 sheets in here for it because I haven't used too many of them. All right, so let's go to the screen and watch. I'll put the prompt in. All right, so let's go into ChatGPT, and I've already put my prompt in there for the vellum. So I said, create 3 ideas to make a junk journal item using vellum. So they gave me 3 ideas, like normal. Do a layered botanical window tag. Cut a tag shape from cardstock, put a piece of vellum on it, stamp or print images on there. Kind of been done before. Vellum pocket with stitched edge. Create a small envelope or side pocket. Stitch it with colored thread. Fill the pocket with tags or flowers or stamped ephemera so they faintly show the vellum. I mean, that could be an option. And then they have vellum overlay journal card. Make a journal card with pattern paper or masterboard scrap. I got enough masterboards, that's for sure. Cut a slightly smaller piece of vellum and stamp a short word or phrase. I was thinking about maybe doing that. I do have some rub-ons that have phrases that could be interesting to do that. Attached with washi tape or brads, so that's a possibility. But then I saw they popped up this little quote that says, if you want, I can also give you 3 more vellum ideas with more grungy vintage twist. I'm like, well, let's do that. So I made it do that, and it rewrote what I had before. And then it says, got it, here's 3 more ideas. And the first one said, distressed vellum ephemera layer. Crumple vellum gently, flatten it out to give a wrinkled age look. Lightly ink the creases with brown or sepia distress ink so the folds catch the color. Layer this vellum over a collage of book text, music sheets, postage stamps, attached with stitches or aged tab strips or time-worn failing. I'm like, well, that could be fun to do. The other 2 are antique specimen slide. Cut 2 small vellums, sandwich leaf between them, kind of like the tag idea they had above, and then a ghost print photo frame where you print a portrait vintage onto vellum. And I didn't want to do that because my vellum that I have, as you saw, is 12 by 12, so I have to cut that down to 8.5 by 11, blah, 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 blah. Decided not to do that. So I am going to do the distressed vellum ephemera layer and give that a go. So I'm going to get my stuff together, probably test a few things out, and I will be back with the results of this. Alrighty, so I am back, and as you saw, I'm going to try to make these into ephemera pieces that are crumbled and inked. Now, I've been playing around with them, so I'm going to show you the steps that I've done so far, and then I'll show you how I did them, because spoiler, the end of the video, what I ended up making is not at all what the prompt said, but this is the whole reason for this prompt thing, is to get the juices flowing and to give you an idea, to spark an idea to maybe do something that you didn't think of before. So that definitely happened with this idea. So I'm gonna put the full piece away for now, and I'm gonna show you that I got a couple things here. So I cut the 12 by 12s into 3-inch long strips, so I did get 4 of them. And I was able to make them to go smaller. So the first thing I did was just fold these in half so that they were 6 by 3. Now, I don't know if all vellum does this. I don't know if it's because this vellum is older. I did cut the 3-inch strips with the machine, but when I folded these, especially twice, they easily ripped. So I was able to rip them into 3 by 6s and 3 by 3 pieces to do the process. So the first thing that I did was I took a 3x3 or 3x6, and I crumpled it up, as you can see, and I used archival inks, get these out, to do this. So I did a taller version and I did a shorter version. So let me show you how that worked. This was sepia and this was coffee. So let me show you how it works. I'm going to use the smaller one just because it's a little easier, and hopefully it's not too crinkly on the camera. But I crinkled it down, and I did crinkle it quite a bit. But you got to be careful when you're trying to open it back up again, because since like you saw how when I folded it, it's easily ripped. So one of them I did tear, I think this one, I did tear a side piece a little bit as I was opening it, but nothing too dramatic. Just got to be careful when you open it. And I'm going to flatten it down a bit, not totally, because I do want to have the creases left on there. All right, let me get this. All right, so what I did for that then is, and I'm going to use the black. Yeah, I'm going to use the black just so you can see it better maybe. And I just took the ink pad and just tried to kiss the top of it, go different directions to make it distressed. So there is the black, kind of looks like a gray. I did do both sides. I'm going to do the other side with coffee just for why not. Because this way you'll be able to see why I decided to do both sides. Because obviously the valleys and peaks are different on each side. One side that has a valley, one side has a peak of the same one. So, as you can kind of see through it right now, it gives two different looks. Very fun. So that's what I did on these. Now I did this a while ago, and even though that's archival, it is supposed to dry without water. It just takes quite a while for this to dry on the vellum. This one I smooshed too soon, so the brown is a little bit in more places, but it still looks cool. This was done maybe half an hour ago, 20 minutes ago, and it's a little bit better. And I'm going to do this one. As you can see, it comes off and it spreads a little bit. So it takes a while for this to dry, which was not my favorite part of this whole process. But I did make a card out of it, and it's very cool. So this was done with the coffee archival. Hopefully you can see it. I did put a flower that is very neutral looking. It's on a book that had some music on there, and I did put one label, number label on there, some words. I found that these graphics in the back of these were much better than some other stuff. So it really, I mean, this is very cool. I really like it. I like how it's scrunched. I glued this one down by putting art glitter glue on the four sides. Now it took a while to glue down to get it to push, but it did work eventually. So that is that one. Okay, so now here's to where I decided to kind of go rogue, as I like to do. So I'm going to put these to the side and put this to the side. All right, so the next thing I did is I crushed one up, and I decided to see if my alcohol markers would work. So I pulled two out. I got the green and purple, and I thought, well, let's try. I'm going to do the purple just so you can see it. I don't want to crush another one. Let's see if we can do this. Now, the fatter marker, it really, I mean, I could sort of touch the tops of it, but it really wasn't doing as well as the flat pad of the ink was. So, of course, that makes me go more into a thing. And I'm like, well, I got those flat pads with my alcohol inks, so let's try that. So, and I did notice that this alcohol marker dried really fast on the vellum, so interesting. Let's give that a shot. Okay, so the next one I crumpled was this one, and I got a alcohol pad and just, you know, did the thing because I thought it was bigger, and it was a little bit more runny because it's not a pad, it's more of a liquid, so I did more sploochy stuff. And I'm like, well, that's not exactly how I want to do it. I mean, it does work because it does show stuff through it, but not quite exactly how I was looking for it. So the next thing I decided to do was kind of go all out and paint something. This is the first one I did, and I did attach it already. Like, how cool is that? So I took the alcohol pads. I did my alcohol pads and just did the total swipe, change the color, swipe, swipe. I did go back in with a little bit of the marker to put on there. It did roll a little bit when it was wet, and I did glue this down completely with this kind of glue. I was able to put it on the back of the vellum and glue it down. I just realized I didn't round the corners like I like to do. Just nip them just a little bit. So I was able to glue it down with that, and I just put one little butterfly on there, and again, music on the back, so very cool. Little alcohol on there, very fun. So I decided to do another one. This one I've not attached to anything. So cool. Again, brushing with the ink. This one I just dropped the ink on there and let it run, so it did run. A couple more brushings, some more dripping down there, but fun, and like almost dries instantly. The part that didn't dry as instantly was the part that I just put the ink on there as dropped and made it run, and it took a little longer because it was a little thicker, but it dried. I mean, just so much fun. I just love this. I love it. So I thought it would be kind of cool to be able to put like something like that onto a card, and you can put it on flowers. And then I did find this tissue paper. It was between some stuff. I think it was something I had printed out, but I thought that would be kind of fun to put on here and put that onto a page and have some other flowers show through. I did it kind of like as a sunset. So let me show you how that would work to get, I think I'll put that down there. All right, let me show you how this would work to glue down. So I'm just gonna, roll it up. I'm gonna glue this paper down first. Put more glue on it than I need. All right, and then I'm gonna, this might be hard to tell on your end, but this is the back side. It's a little more opaque, so I could definitely glue that down this way. This has a bit more of a shine to it because that's where it bubbled up, so it's a bit more, not fancy, but like that. So I'm gonna put the glue on the back side, and I'm gonna glue the whole thing up. Now this is gonna start to curl on me because the vellum's getting really wet. But you can then put it down. Let me get that out of the way so I can push it on here. You can push it down to have it stay. Now, vellum will stick with this kind of glue, but because it is wet, sometimes it starts to poke up in the corners, and you just kind of got to play with it for a few minutes. But as you can see, it is not coming off, which is wonderful. That alcohol ink is stuck to vellum. Now, as I was doing this, I was like, did I know that alcohol ink sticks to vellum? I don't know, because when I first got those alcohol inks, I was playing with the Dollar Tree poster board. Somebody had mentioned that. And my comic book boards that were opaque. They're both white. And you could for sure paint on them. We did. I had to use a little bit more alcohol with it because it liked to pool versus spread out. And I'm going to do one of these to show you how it ends up working where you don't, I didn't even have to. Just going to throw a little ink on the outside here because it looks like that was rough. But you do not have to, whoops, timber. I mean, that is so cool. I love it. So from the idea of the prompt of ChatGPT Thursday to crumple in ink, which I have done, and it is lovely. But the process of going through there, of realizing what works, what didn't, led me to using my alcohol inks to draw on vellum and make backgrounds. Never done before, doubt it, probably done a million times. Have I seen it? I can't say I have, maybe I have. But definitely something I had never done before, and that's really kind of why I started the ChatGPT Thursday, to push me out of my normal things and create things that maybe I didn't do before. So, fun. All right, so let me show you how I got to these. Let me get these out of the way. And get these out of the way. I'm going to do a half of one just because it takes a little less time. I could do a full one. I could probably do a full page of the full sheets of vellum if I felt like it. But the smaller pieces are definitely more workable. And in the end, even though I am creating a square that we paint, and I'm not going to take either one of these and rip them because they're beautiful and gorgeous. I'm going to, before I forget, snip the corners. So all I need to throw on this is, you know, maybe a little bird or another flower on top, or a label, or numbers or something. And this is a quick little journal card because it's white on the back, because I used, you know, white, and it's pretty. I mean, like I said, get to this, I could put some little piece of paper on the back so that it was white, and have a nice journal card for that. So pretty. Okay. All right, I'm going to use this book instead of getting out my big thing, but all right, so for these, I just want to say what colors I use, and maybe I'll pick some different colors, but I had used dandelion for the yellow, I use sunset orange for the orange, and then there's a pink in there, it's hard to tell, it's watermelon, and then I had purple twilight, and then a denim for the little bit of blue on the bottom. And color markers, I'm not sure. Like I said, I used didn't use color markers on this one. I used the color marker on this one. I forgot which colors. I put those away for those. But let's see what we can grab. All right, let's do something tropical. So I've got the green patina, coral, and flamingo. I don't know what these are going to look like in the end, but I think they could be kind of fun. So I'm going to grab some new pads here. Now, I'm going to show you I did the brushing technique, and then the dropping technique, and then a bit of the dipping technique, and I'll show you all of those so you can see how I got those, and a bit of how I did those splitching, and might be hard to tell on here, but there is a little bit of, you can see it up here, a little bit of splooching on that one. Okay. All right, so let's do a flamingo at the top. So what I did, there we go, is to try to control it a little bit. I just put a little bit of the color, like just on the edge of it, not the whole circle, because then I knew where the line would be, and it really does not take much for this to go. So there's the top. And we're gonna flamingo it. Boom. Now, if you want some texture, I found that if you go in with the side that has more color and do that, you can get some more texture in there. And there is the pink flamingo. Okay, I mean, look at how little ink I used, and I'm pretty sure this is dry already. Maybe just not that little corner right there, but pretty well dry. Okay, so let's do the coral on the bottom. I'm gonna put the patina in the middle. All right, and coral. Coral is more of a orange color, and I probably could have, as I'm doing this, I probably could have used this on the other side because I'm using so little of it. All right, I'm gonna flip it just to make it a little easier. And you're going to coral the top. And I'm going to bring it down to almost. And you don't have to do this bleaching. It just, like I said, adds a little bit of texture. If you don't, you can just do it smooth, and there we go. All right. I'm going to get rid of this page. Okay. Now for the green, I am going to make sure it's not, oh my gosh. Make sure it's not too drippy on the outside. And I'm just going to spill a few dots on here. And going to let it run and do its thing. Now, since this is not, the vellum is a little bit more, I think, plasticky, it lets it run a little bit more, and it does not dry as quickly as you try to do this on paper, which I thought was kind of fun. Now, this is definitely darker than what I thought it was going to be. That is for sure. So I'm going to wipe some of it off. There we go. All right, let me put the cap on this before I spill it. Now, for the more splooching effects, for like that, I got a spray of alcohol. It's huge. I know it's clean for cleaning windows. I need to get a smaller one for my craft room. This was downstairs. So I took a few drops on my hand and dropped it down. And let it do its little fun magic. It also helps clean a little bit of alcohol on your fingers, and it also shows if you have a cut on your fingers because it burns a little. Which I happened to cut myself yesterday on slicing potatoes into French fries, and I cut it, and yeah, it's like a paper cut, but ouch. I had a bandage on it earlier, but I took it off. Well, it really fell off because I took a shower with it. Okay, now see how fun that is for that? Now the other thing you can do is, and I think I will take this darker one. I took, and you can see this one right here. This is the purple one that did the spludging on this one, is because I added alcohol to it, and that's why it's a little bit more. I'm going to spray this off camera, just so it doesn't get in there. But I wet this, so that made the dots a little bit more, and then I was able to, probably need a little bit more. Had a little bit more ink on there. There we go. I think I put too much alcohol in there. I'm getting some of the color through. But what the end part was, I was trying to get some of this color onto other parts of the paper. Now this is going to take a minute to dry because it is definitely a little bit more alcohol based than in the beginning. But add a little bit more color back to that where it disappeared. I think that was the watermelon sign. Yep, it was the watermelon sign. And the coral side. And put a couple more drops back on there. This is definitely a little bit more tropical and not as bright. Here we go. There we go. Okay. All right, it's going to take a minute to dry some more, but you can definitely see how fun this is. And be able to go through there. All right, let's... It is pretty well dry. All right, I'm going to glue it down. Now, if I wanted, like I said, if I wanted to use this side, which is a little bit, it's not inked at all, or this side has a bit of texture to it, a little bit more inked out. You could use either side to glue down. I'm going to put the glue on the side that's not inked. And I probably could have used the art glitter glue to show you how it worked, but the stick glue just works fine. All right, we are going to put it, trying to make it go straight. There we go. Okay. So I think it's a success. I probably would have tested out that color. I didn't realize, I haven't played with these alcohol inks as much as I would like to see like what color they are. I probably should swatch them or something. Because I didn't, for some reason, I thought the green would be a lighter green. I probably should have used, I think I have a citrus, which is a really light green. Yeah, that's more the green I was thinking it was going to be. Light green. Pretty. I like it. It is definitely more tropical. Like I said, this is more sunset-y. This is just purple and green, which I think would be fun. I'll probably put it in my purple journal. I am just really growing on me as it's drying. Not that it's taking that long to dry, but I really do like the colors of it. And like you said, I mean, if I wanted to, just put a couple splooches instead of all over the place and make it go like that one. Okay, I am back, and I think it is dried enough. It takes, the alcohol and inks dry really fast, but when you put the alcohol in there, it seems to take a little bit longer. I was thinking about maybe adding a bit of a, or cut it out, a line around this, and it kind of would be partially on the edge of the card. It's like a blue-gray. It's actually called BG Blue Gray 3. But I thought it'd be kind of fun. Oh, and that's the other thing I didn't show. That's how I did the dip. All right, let me cut this out. Look, I can follow the back. All right, let's cut it out this way. I am going to cut it off with the hint of the border that I put on there so that the paper is just a bit bigger, because I think that's a pretty color to go with this. Right? How fun. I really like those colors now. And that alcohol drips just kind of made a color spread a little bit on there. So it did do some spreading and blending, which was fun. I did not expect it to do that. But it's amazing how like the progressing of the playing with the stuff, and I think that's just beautiful. I really like that. So the dipping of the paper, I'm going to show it on to one I haven't done yet. And I'm just gonna use some colors I had before. All right, let's do the purple. Purple Twilight. I'll just put a little bit of ink on there. And I'm not gonna do the whole card. You know, famous last words, I probably will. All right, so just doing some strips. And as it's drying, as you see, if you keep going over it, you just keep kind of darkening the strips, making it a little bit like texture, fabric-y. All right, so what I did for when I want to add the blue, which was the blue denim that I added to the bottom of this, is I did take my, I suppose I shouldn't be using the music page, but that's okay. I'll move to the side. All right, so I took my, and I dropped some into the corner and into the corner, and you see it went onto the page, so I ended up just kind of trying to scoop it onto the page into places, and it went on the back and the front, so it gave like a shadow and darkness to it. But that's how I got the ends to be like that. Yeah, fun. I'll have to finish that with something. Should I do that citrus? That could be pretty. Let's just, I told you it'd take a minute to finish. All right, let's get a new pad for the clean citrus. All right, we're gonna put citrus on the one end. And put a little of the citrus color on the bottom. Okay, and I'm really gonna be daring here, and I'm gonna spray this with just a drop of alcohol. Try not to put too much. Try to blot some of it out. Make it less wet. And see what I can do in the middle here. The bottom is too much darker than the top, but I don't know if you can see. I'll put some dark there. There we go. The green from up here ended up going down in here. It almost looks like a gold. Almost like mountains, sea, sky. Lovely, lovely. Not sure where I'll go with this further on that one, but I think it's very cool. Okay, well, I think that's gonna be it for me today, because as once again, I could play with this for days. Get my mess out of the way here. And let me show you what we did. Okay, original idea, and it has dried now, so I think I'm going to glue it down. I'm going to glue it down with the art glitter glue as we go through these, and hopefully I can talk about the other ones while this is kind of drying too, so you don't have to stay with me. But I'm going to put art glitter glue on the outside of this, like any kind of item. I'm not going to put it in the middle because I wanted the raised texture of this to still stay raised, and I thought if I put it in the middle too would probably bring it down a little bit. It was okay that I used glue on these because they were not meant to be raised. But, all right, so we're gonna put this down and we're just gonna keep pushing on the edge. See how it pops up? And then we're gonna push and it pops up, and we're gonna push and it pops up. We're gonna push. I feel like I got one of those pop that you get in mail. Okay, I think I got all the sides down. All right, I think they're all down, but fun, right? A little bit of texture. Cut that out and do like I did this one. Added something to it. How fun is that, right? I mean, I think this was a great idea to begin with. Like I said, the only thing that really kind of slowed me down on the whole process, or kind of bummed me out a little bit, was how long it took for the archival inks to dry. Now, I do have the VersaFine Clairs, but those are so juicy to start that I didn't want to use those. And that's why I used my little minis, because they're not very juicy. So I don't know if there's other ones that are better better on slick that would have worked, but it does dry eventually, as you can see. And how fun is that? So textured crumpled vellum from ChatGPT for the win. But where it took me then was to go through and do some other ones. So I can still play with these. These still will be fun to be able to glue down and use as something. But what it led me to was this discovery using my alcohol markers and inks. Probably won't use those, but you know, who knows. And I was thinking too that this could probably even be torn and added as parts of a collage or something, or a little tidbit, you know, put it behind something, because it does rip so easily, and you have a little piece of color behind something, so not totally wasted. Okay, but what I was coming to, what it led me to, were these fun alcohol inked cards that I did on vellum. I really do love this one. See, with the little gray on the outside for the little thing. Love it. And the sunsetty, where I put on the scrapbook piece, you can see the flower through it. I put the pre-stamped tissue paper underneath, so to get a bit more of a contrast. And I just realized that I put it backwards. The words are backwards. I flipped them. When I put the words this way, I must have glued it down this way. Oh well. It's behind vellum. It's really meant to be just some sort of blurbage. And then the one that I just did as a test, still can have fun with the spots and things, but truly how fun. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, well, if you like this, please give it a thumbs up. I would like to hopefully get this so other people can see it, because fun. I just had these sitting there from my last thing. And I really go, oh, look at those colors. How fun are those? I might have to make bigger ones to be able to put these on. I guess I know what I'm going to be doing later. All right, I had to just hop back on real quick before I ended the video to show you that I did end up doing one of those to match these, because I thought this would be a great idea. So this is the card I ended up making. I did outline it in the alcohol marker with green, and I used a bunch of those colors that I had used before, the corals and some yellows and oranges and purples. I had done it to match the picture this way, doing the purple, purple, coral, or yellow, orange, purple, coral, yellow, orange. But then when I put it on the music, I reversed it so that it would be opposite. And I'm going to glue it down on here to make a really tall sideways journal card that would go somewhere. But I wanted to show you this before I glued it on, just because a lot of that coral is getting hidden, which is a shame, but something's going to get hidden, obviously. I did a lot of the techniques that I had done in the video. There's extra purples over here because I took the stamp pan that had purple and just, you know, blotted over there. It might be hard to tell, but some of this is the orange that went over here. Kind of like how I did my distress sprays when I did the ombres, where I did the opposite colors just to pick it up. So I thought that would be fun. add a little label there, and we're going to call that beautiful and done. All right, back to the end of the video. I love it. Okay, so I'm just like so all over the place. I'm sorry. But if you like the video, a thumbs up would be awesome. If you have any questions or comments, please put them below. I'd love to hear from you. And if this gave you a thought, a pause, an idea to do something, maybe not this, but to maybe play with ChatGPT and put in something you found in your room. You found a pile of this and you don't know what to do with it. Ask ChatGPT what to do with it. You might not get the answer the first time. You might have to replay it a couple times, but something might spark, and then that spark go to another spark. All right, well, that is going to be it for me today. I appreciate each and every one of you that has hung out with me today. And as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.